What's up guys, Sportshot here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys everything that you need to know about playing the BMD-4 in Warthunder. And afterwards, I'm going to be comparing it to the BMP-2M so you guys know whether or not to buy it if you didn't complete the event. But before we do get into it, you guys should subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and like the video to be notified of more videos just like this one. Anyway, let's get right into it. First, I'm going to be going over what modifications you should get to increase the effectiveness of the vehicle as soon as possible. So for your primary targets of research, what you're going to want to go for is parts and FPE so you can increase your survivability. And then after that, you're going to want to go for thermals, missiles, and the smoke grenades. Although you will have to get a second rank modification just so you can actually reach the third rank where the missiles and smoke grenades are. So I chose adjustment of fire. Airstrike is also a really good one. And once you get to the fourth rank, I would suggest getting the APDS first, and then you can fill in whatever you want depending on how you play the tank. Now, because this vehicle does have a depression angle of only 6 degrees, which is very bad, especially on hilly maps, what you're going to want to do is learn how to manage your suspension so you can rock down and get a much better depression angle on hills. How you do that is you go to controls, then you go make sure that you're on ground vehicles, which it should already be on. Then you just scroll down to suspension control. And what I only have the incline backwards and forwards because I don't really use the rest of them. Although you can set up the different ones, and I just have this on my arrow keys right now, and that makes it really easy to just switch between using the forward and backwards rocking on the suspension, so I can get much better depression when I'm playing the game. And sometimes I do roll around the map with my suspension all the way down, so if I do get up on a hill, I can always just make sure I can get the shot. Now, personally, I recommend having Z as the fire key for your ATGMs, which would also be the secondary guns on this vehicle. And what you can do to stop it from zooming in and out is you can go back to common, and it should be zoom right here. It's RMB and Z, so I like to just take that off and keep it on RMB because that's what I usually use anyway. Now, you can only do this with some mice, but to get really good accuracy and an extremely long range, I like to have separate sensitivity on my mouse. So with one press of a button, I can go from a really coarse adjustment to a really fine adjustment, and I can fire my ATGM, and I have really good control of it at a really long range. And if you do use a Razer mouse specifically, what you can do is click on your mouse, go to performance, and then in the sensitivity stage, you can just add 2 stages. I like to have it at 800 and 1800 DPI, and this seems to be just about the right spot for me. So in the BMD-4, you have 2 main tactics. Number 1 is to be a flanker, and number 2 is to rush a cap, pop smoke, set up a defensive position, and let your teammates fill in. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be flanking because on Japan, the south of the map is pretty good for flanking. You can usually do like a fishhook maneuver around that little mountain and around the cap zone, and just kind of set up a flanking position right at the tip of the southern mountain. And what flanking does is your main objective there is to cut off enemies from reinforcing their fight at the cap zone, and to make sure that you spot as many enemies as possible that are going that direction, so your close air support and teammates will have better information on how to target them. So while you are getting to your cap zone or getting to your flanking position, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you pay very close attention to what's going on around you, because you could be killed, because a lot of these maps make it difficult to get into a flanking position, which is a pretty decent balancing technique because they can be pretty overpowered as positions. So we do have a lot of enemies on C right now, so I'm going to try to clear them out a little bit if I can. And I'm going to listen with my headphones to make sure nobody is trying to get into a flanking position over here on the enemy team. So I can hear a whole bunch of enemies over here, and I want to make sure, okay, there's one. Okay, he's already scouted, so I'm just going to take him out. There we go. And I'm going to try to move on. Now, if I did have smokes, I would pop them right there, so I would have some visual cover to run behind. But now I'm kind of just out of the way of the enemies. I'm going to try to help my teammates as much as I can when they try to take this cap. So there's another tank right there. Got that. And I'm going to just move into my position right here at the tip of the mountain, right over here, so I can cut off more reinforcements. So we did get C. That's good. And so now I can get into my flanking position. What I like to do on Japan is, now enemies can come up through here, but it's very rare. A lot of them usually come up through this main part right here, and you can to a lesser extent block off C, or reinforcements going to B, I mean. But C is going to be your main block. So what you usually do is get right about here, and then I'm going to pitch my suspension up so I can get better depression on the gun, and just kind of sit here. So if you do see anything, remember to scout it before you shoot it, and let it get into a good position for you to be able to shoot it like this. I scout it. He's already in a good position, so I can just let it go. And I can hear something coming up on my left. So I want to get that kill. And okay, that's not a thing. Oh, there we go. Got another kill. Doing pretty good here. So this is why flanking is really important. Those two tanks could have threatened our hold on C where we only have one tank. So I just kind of kept my teammate over there safe and kept the cap zone safe for a longer period of time. Now our team really isn't doing that great up in the north, but oh, accidentally shot. I can hear something else on the other side of that mountain, so I'm going to change my position up a little bit so that they don't know exactly where I am, because it's probably the same person that I just killed. So I'm going to switch up my suspension right here so I can back up on this hill a little bit, and I will still have a decent amount of visual over here. So that's basically what flanking is. You just get into a good position, you get a few kills, make sure you scout as much as you can right in between the enemy spawn and the cap zone, and just kind of wait it out there. Okay, this is a really interesting situation. Somebody's probably going to try to rush me. I can hear somebody up here in the middle of the hill, so I'm going to wait to see what they do. They might be trying to rush me, or they might be trying to get a better visual on what's going on in the cap zone. So I'm just going to keep my gun up here and wait for it to approach. Okay, I think there might be two vehicles up there now, so that could be a problem for me, although one of them sounds like a IFV of some sort. Okay, it's coming up to the left here. And one's coming up center. I can hear the one on the left. Yeah, that is an IFV. Okay. So I'm going to scout it and try to do some damage to it. Okay, we got the kill. I'm going to try to get back here so I can hear whatever's going on. Okay, the other person pulled back. So they are out of my sound range. Now because I am low on missiles, I am going to go back to the cap zone and try to refresh on them. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that I keep an eye on where the enemies will be coming from, which will mainly be right here. But there could also be some on that hill, just like that Bradley tried to get to. So I want to keep an eye in that direction, keep my thermals on, and also try not to run into trees. This can be pretty tricky. Also, just a quick side note, make sure that, especially if people are using stock vehicles around you, make sure that you always help to repair them and always help to put out fires before you get more ammunition for yourself, because these are MBTs. They are going to be doing most of the fighting and most of the hit taking, so you want to try to help them as much as possible, because you will be off to the side when you are fully resupplied. Alright, so everything but our southern flank here got absolutely destroyed, so I am going to be showing you guys how to rotate. This map is a decent map for rotation, although I don't have smoke, so it will make it difficult. But you can see that the OF-40 and the IS-6 have made a partial rotation already, so that shows me that the southern spawn is pretty clear. So I will be able to push up and rotate, and I think I'm going to go to the westernmost point of B to provide support there, while the OF-40 and the IS-6 kind of assault it. Alright, so now that we are in this little fishbowl area where B is, I'm going to be looking out for enemies. Now there might be one on B already, but I can't see anything alive. Okay, so they only have 4 vehicles left. I can hear one of them is in an SPA because I can hear them shooting right now. So there shouldn't be too much resistance here. My teammates are staying to defend the C point, so I'm going to roll up, get B, and report back to my little camping area for flanking on C. Okay, I can hear something up here. That cruise missile might have gotten it. Yes, okay, good. So we are pretty clear here on C. I would pop smokes here usually, but I don't have any yet. But we should be able to get B. And I just gotta sit here and take it. Okay, so now I'm gonna be showing you guys how to rush a cap. Now it is pretty self-explanatory. You just have to rush the cap and set up some good defense for your teammates. So you just gotta get there quickly and preferably before any other enemies get there. So we're just going to rush straight in the direction of it. We don't have much, well, we have a decent amount of speed. It is building up. But a good thing to do is to try to stay on or near roads so you can build up speed, because you will get more traction on a road rather than being on grass or sand especially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my main site and turn on my thermals, just so I can be sure that there isn't anything in front of me, and if there is something, I will see it right away. So I'm going to be getting up to the cap here, and I need to get ready to basically plan out where I'm going to go. So I'm just going to go up the main part here, use the cap itself as cover, and I'm just going to pop some smokes right away once I get up there, so nothing will be able to see me. Now I'm going to stick to this corner because it will probably have more contact from flankers, because right around here is a good flanking position for enemy tanks spawning on the other side. So let's just pop those, and we now have full protection up to around here. And it looks like we don't have any teammates coming to see. So we're going to try to call some over, but I don't think that really any are going to come. Now this is a horrible situation, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and... well, a good thing to do when you're having this problem is to try to rotate into a flanking position. So I'm going to pop those smokes and go directly... I'm going to let that smoke be directly in between me and whatever just shot me over there, because something just shot my fuel tanks. And I'm going to try to get out of here as soon as possible and as quickly as possible, because I know if I stay near that cap, I'm going to die, because we do have a lot of enemies near there. I think I heard one, and then one shot me from in the flanking position back there. So I'm going to try to rotate, kill the flanker, kill whatever was up near the cap zone, and then I'll just retake it if I have to. So I might be able to hear it now. No. Okay, so I'm just going to keep my eyes open for anything. Okay, I can hear it now, whatever it is. It sounds like an IFV. It's around here. Okay, so, yep, there it is. Looks like a Roy Cat. And it probably sees me. Yep, it sees me. So I still don't have any team support, so I'm just going to try to hold this Roy Cat off so it doesn't take the cap, because if I do rush it right away, it will be able to take the cap, and you obviously don't want that to happen. You want to let the cap keep draining tickets from the enemies for as long as possible. So there we go, and we got the kill. That was pretty lucky. Okay, so somebody else did just shoot from back here. So I'm gonna pitch my suspension down and go up to this hill so I can see if there is anything. Yeah, there was something. Okay, there was a Chinese light tank up there. So that was a pretty bad mistake. But basically, now that we have the cap and we know where the enemy is, we can just go back and do what we need to do. Basically, just kind of repeat what we did, or try to get into a flanking position. I'm not going to record that though, because I already went over flanking positions earlier in the video. So as a review of the BMD-4, it is a great vehicle, perfect light tank, just great with flanking, great with cap rushing. Now, is it worth buying? I don't think it is. If you already have the BMP-2M, or you can already research it, I would not buy the BMD. The BMP-2M can do most of what the BMD already does. So what I would suggest is to just not buy it and use the BMP as your Russian tank lineup, or Russian light tank for your Russian lineup. Although I would suggest, if you really do like light tanks, and especially the ATGMs, you can get it if you have the money. Now, also you have other tanks like the BMP-2 base, which is also a pretty capable light tank, although it is not one of the best like the BMD and the BMP-2M. So I wouldn't recommend buying it if you already have the BMP-2M. But if you want to, go ahead. It's very capable and it is slightly better than the BMP-2M in my opinion. And if you already have it, obviously throw that in your lineup. It is a perfect light tank. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. And if you do have any questions, put them in the comments down below so I can answer them.